So I think I'm going to make this a two-part series. It would be too long. And the last video was on Baalbek, wasn't it? Proving to you how what they call the quarry is the original site that was completely collapsed, solidified, concrete, calcified. All the rebar and girders that would have to go into a structure to build something so massive has all eroded away, rusted away, oxidized. You can even see that. Well, I pointed it out for you, so I thought I would start off with this. The video is basically in the title. So what you're looking at here, what I've circled, are girders, right? There is no metal there anymore, it's just an imprint, it's solidification. The entire earth was flooded, wasn't it? And the weight of the water literally caused volcanic ash, volcanic events to go off across the entire world. I proved that ad nauseum. So it's an imprint of rebar. Just look at the length of what archaeologists will tell you were bricks. Just look at the length of them, and they would say that it's cement between the bricks, isn't it, that you fix them together with. But we all know that cement doesn't last that long, does it? It all just corrodes away in no time at all. So it is just an imprint of rebar, and it is laid out exactly how we would do it today. Okay, now another reason why I know that's an absolute fact is the girders there that I've circled for you. If you look at the little rim, the rim that runs around where it joins into the wall, there's a rim on both of them, isn't there? Well, you couldn't have girders just going into a concrete wall and taking the weight, because it would just cut through the concrete. So you would have to have some type of metal framing around it. So since creating my last full video specifically just showing you rebar, the imprints of, that's the reason why I started the channel in the first place, and then it just grew into what it is today. Well, since that I have accumulated a huge album of rebar solidification, like what I've just been showing you. Now obviously I have a few which are a bit more dubious, like this. But one thing's for sure, that everything that archaeology and the megalithic scene say is completely wrong to within 100%. I'm going to show you just many images which should prove to everybody that these are the remains, solidification, calcification again, of structures. They are the main supports. I'm going to throw enough evidence at you, example side by side, that should prove to you. The only thing that we're left to determine here is what is mud rock, the imprints in mud rock, or solidification of concrete, calcification of what was mainly built from concrete and metal and things. Yes, later on in the video I will show you sites that were almost completely built from wood, and it's been hit with ash and it's just an imprint. And the reason why I do this is because I got absolutely pissed off with people like this who are supposedly the experts in the megalithic scene. Now these are from the Inca tours that Brian Forrester does. People that's been into this as long as what I have will recognize the guy on the left. This is part of the Russian team. I pointed this channel out to you before. Everything these people do, they base all their research on the machining of stone, right? That's what they are stood there pondering right now. Well, it's concrete, it's solidification of concrete, okay? This image here, if you look in the top right hand corner, it's basically a framework. We do it the exact same way today. I've got multiple images of sites across the world, ancient, that have been excavated, that have walls like this, like we do it today. It's a crisscross like framing work, and you pour your concrete into it, right? keeps it stable. And then the holes, which are normally square, is obviously where bar and rebar will go in to then, you know, connect something into it. It's bleeding obvious. Now this is from where I live in England. I've been here once before. I've mentioned it. It's called Mother Shipton's Cave, and what you're looking at is calcification. It's lime running down the side of this cliff, this rock here, and creating something like what you would see underwater. And this is basically what we're talking about here. So when I show you images like this, you can carry on believing that, let's say the Inca, obviously you would say the peoples before who had unknown technology that were able to cut rock, just did this for no reason whatsoever, and you're never going to be able to work it out, and you will be constantly running around in circles with this crowd, right? It's all sagged offline. You can see it's just an imprint of some building. It's at the top of a mountain, so these things were enormous, and it's calcification. It's gone underwater. All the concrete has ran out in the ways I've shown you, and it's the exact same thing as what has happened at Mother Shipton's Cave. Same as Machu Picchu here. So when I come on here and lay out a barrage of evidence like I've just laid out there, it's completely mind-blowing to me, and should be to you, how these things are still labelled rock cut structures on both sides of the fence, mainstream archaeology and the megalithic crew. The other thing that I'm hearing a lot of lately, and you will have done, is this melting of rock. That there was an event in the past and it melted cities. There's nothing on here that I've shown you that's melted. It's exactly what I'm saying, and you should be able to recognize it from here on out. Because unless it's basalt, then rock won't melt, will it? It will just turn slag. crisp up, just turn black. So I'm sick to death of hearing people mention that gouge. Anyway, I've just been showing you the connection of floors, higher floors. Now, these next few images here, if you look, we can obviously see that this is not either a rock cut structure. You can see the beams, which will have been metal, framing huge girders to hold a floor up. Just look how thick that floor is above. Imagine the weight of concrete on that. This is in China. The entire scenery in this image will have been a city, just looking at a mound at the front where the front of it collapsed in some storm. So yes, they've excavated it slightly. Again, look at the thickness of these floors. We don't know how much is buried underneath these piles, but I can imagine, judging by what we're looking at here, is made out of concrete, metal, rebar girders. Because, and how we know that is, if you look at these lines that I've drawn in, it shows just how level the structures are all the way across through each wall. Well, you can't carve anything out like that, can you, so perfectly? No, you can't, people. It has to be built that way. And this image here is the same site. It's in black and white. It is an old image, it's not just been made black and white, okay? But what I have circled there is just to show you again that it's built. You can see some inner structure, which everything has just turned to mud now. This is from the Ancient Aliens program that they're always showing, where they make out that he's taking off on some kind of rocket ship. I couldn't be bothered going back and finding out which king it was. It's Mayan. It's within what they call a pyramid, what they've tidied up into the shape of a pyramid. You're basically looking at 100% petrified wood there. You can even see where it's been bolted into position at the back. And I'm talking about the now stone lid carved from wood.
Right, there are 2 separate albums on my Google site for you to go look at right now, which is where I'm filming this from.